Genius Rustic Farmhouse Backyard Ideas 2026, low-cost DIY and landscaping tips. Imagine walking out into your backyard and feeling as though you've entered a retreat that blends nature, comfort, and timeless charm. The rustic farmhouse style has a way of making every detail feel authentic, grounded, and full of character. In 2026, this design approach is more than just a trend. It has become a lifestyle choice, where people seek to create outdoor spaces that bring calm, warmth, and a sense of home beyond the walls of the house. It's about finding beauty in natural textures, honoring materials with history, and shaping the environment to feel like a personal escape that still welcomes family and friends. This vision doesn't rely on expensive renovations or high-end purchases. Instead, it celebrates creativity, resourcefulness, and the stories carried by reclaimed objects and handmade projects. Old barn wood can become the framework for raised planters or garden benches. Salvaged pallets can be turned into rustic furniture that invites conversation. Even weathered fences can be reimagined as decorative accents that tie the garden together. Each element carries a unique texture, a patina that whispers of the past, giving the entire space a personality that feels genuine rather than manufactured. The pathways of a farmhouse backyard guide the eye and the footsteps, leading guests on a meandering journey rather than a straight line. Crushed stone, gravel, or reclaimed brick create these winding routes, weaving through flower beds and green spaces in a casual, approachable way. By evening, the glow of solar lights or lantern-style fixtures along the path creates an atmosphere that is both enchanting and practical. Lighting in this style is never about harshness, it is about ambience, about the soft glow that makes people want to linger, whether under the stars or beneath a pergola draped in string lights. At the center of this outdoor haven are the seating areas, spaces that prioritize togetherness, comfort, and ease. A reclaimed wood picnic table provides a place to gather for family meals. Adirondack chairs positioned near a fire pit encourage quiet reflection or shared stories on cool nights. Even a simple DIY sofa made from pallets, topped with weatherproof cushions and layered with cozy throws, becomes an irresistible spot to relax. Textiles in earthy tones, pillows, rugs, blankets add softness and invite year-round use, proving that a rustic backyard is not just for summer afternoons, but for every season. No rustic farmhouse backyard is complete without the presence of plants that echo the rhythms of nature. Lavender fills the air with fragrance, while hydrangeas offer bursts of color, and ornamental grasses sway gently in the breeze. Raised beds overflowing with herbs and vegetables not only provide sustenance, but also connect the space to the traditions of homesteading and self-reliance. Galvanized tubs, barrels, or even repurposed wheelbarrows become charming planters that reinforce the authenticity of the countryside aesthetic. Each living element adds depth, movement, and life, ensuring that the backyard feels organic rather than overly designed. Decorative details, often found in unexpected places, give the space its soul. A ladder leaning against a fence becomes a vertical garden. An antique watering can transforms into a vase for fresh blooms, and a weathered wagon wheel placed strategically in the garden becomes both sculpture and conversation starter. These touches remind us that design doesn't always come from the store. It comes from imagination, from seeing the potential in what already exists, and from honoring pieces that carry history. The design also considers purpose. A rustic farmhouse backyard is never just decoration. It is a functional extension of daily living. Some areas are made for dining, others for reading, others for play. This intentional planning ensures that every square foot has meaning. A cozy nook beneath a tree invites solitude, while an open space near the kitchen becomes a natural setting for family dinners. The goal is not perfection, but practicality infused with charm. In the end, creating a rustic farmhouse backyard in 2026 is about embracing imperfection, celebrating natural materials, and layering the outdoor environment with personal stories. It's about building spaces that feel lived in, warm, and welcoming without the need for excessive spending or elaborate construction. With reclaimed wood, thoughtful lighting, creative seating, lush plantings, and personal touches, Anyone can shape a backyard that is not just a yard, but a sanctuary, a place where nature and home merge, where memories are made, and where the simple joys of outdoor living are elevated by design that is as timeless as it is personal. As the rustic farmhouse backyard evolves into 2026, the design language continues to draw from the roots of tradition while embracing subtle innovations that make outdoor living even more inviting. One of the central ideas shaping the style today is harmony. Harmony between old and new, between function and beauty, and between nature and the structures we place within it. The farmhouse aesthetic thrives on the concept of blending opposites, rough textures softened by greenery, reclaimed surfaces paired with modern comforts, and timeless layouts enhanced by fresh landscaping trends. In this chapter of the design story, the conversation begins with outdoor architecture. Pergolas, gazebos, and arbors are no longer just decorative elements, but functional anchors that shape the backyard into zones of purpose. A pergola draped with climbing vines creates shade and frames a seating area that feels like an outdoor living room. An arbor at the entrance of a garden signals transition, a threshold between the everyday and the sanctuary of nature. These structures, often built from reclaimed wood or painted in earthy whites and muted grays, become focal points that guide the flow of the backyard. Next comes the role of water. Even in modest spaces, a small fountain, a repurposed trough turned into a water feature, or a rustic bird bath adds movement and tranquility. The sound of running water elevates the sense of retreat, softening background noise and creating a meditative backdrop. When paired with natural stone or weathered metal, these features not only refresh the air, but also connect the backyard to the timeless rhythm of rural landscapes, where water has always been life-giving. Outdoor kitchens and dining areas are taking on greater importance in farmhouse backyards, reflecting the growing desire to extend hospitality into the open air. A reclaimed wood dining table, surrounded by mismatched chairs, sets the stage for meals that feel communal and casual. Overhead, string lights or lanterns cast a soft glow, transforming dinner into an experience that stretches long into the evening. For many homeowners, the heart of this space is a wood-fired oven or a built-in grill, framed by natural stone and paired with open shelving for rustic dishware. These kitchens celebrate both the tradition of cooking together and the modern convenience of bringing the indoors outside. Seating remains essential, but in this phase, it expands beyond function to embrace storytelling. Swing benches hung from strong beams, hammocks stretched between trees, or circular arrangements of chairs around a stone fire pit each communicate something about how the space is meant to be used. They say, "This is where we gather, this is where we rest, this is where we celebrate." With the addition of layered textiles, striped throws, woven rugs, linen cushions, the seating areas are softened, grounded, and given a seasonal versatility that allows the backyard to feel alive throughout the year. Plants also take on a new dimension in this stage of design, with the farmhouse garden embracing abundance and diversity. Raised beds become canvases for creativity, mixing vegetables, herbs, and flowers in ways that are both productive and visually pleasing. Lavender borders line pathways, offering fragrance with every step. Tall sunflowers nod in the breeze, providing both shade and cheer. Fruit trees, whether in full orchard rows or in dwarf varieties for smaller yards, add not only beauty, but also sustenance. The garden becomes a reflection of the farmhouse spirit, resourceful, generous, and deeply tied to the cycle of growth and harvest. In terms of decorative accents, 2026 brings a renewed appreciation for authenticity. Handcrafted pieces, pottery, woven baskets, iron lanterns replace mass-produced items, reinforcing the sense of individuality in every backyard. Vintage finds from flea markets or family heirlooms rescued from storage find new life as planters, tables, or artistic installations. A wooden crate becomes a herb box. An old door is mounted as a garden gate. A rusted metal wheel leans casually against a shed, its wear and tear a reminder that beauty can be found in imperfection. Another defining element is the integration of technology in subtle, unobtrusive ways. Solar-powered lighting discreetly charges during the day and illuminates paths at night. Smart irrigation systems ensure that plants thrive without waste, supporting sustainability while respecting the natural flow of the garden. These additions prove that farmhouse charm does not exclude modern efficiency. Rather, it embraces it when technology serves to enhance comfort and care. Children and families are also considered in the farmhouse backyard of 2026. Simple wooden playhouses, rope swings, or open lawns designed for games offer spaces where younger generations can create memories. At the same time, adults are given corners designed for relaxation. Perhaps a secluded reading nook with a rustic bench beneath trees, or a small meditation zone surrounded by aromatic plants. Every detail is about creating balance, ensuring that all members of the household find something meaningful in the backyard. Finally, sustainability continues to influence design choices. Compost bins discreetly tucked away support the garden, rain barrels collect water, and native plants reduce the need for constant care. Each decision reflects an awareness that the farmhouse spirit has always been about stewardship of the land, about working with nature rather than against it. The backyard becomes not just a reflection of personal taste, but also a small act of responsibility, a commitment to preserving beauty for the future. By layering reclaimed architecture, functional outdoor living, abundant plantings, authentic decor, thoughtful technology, and a spirit of sustainability, the farmhouse backyard of 2026 becomes more than a design trend. It becomes a philosophy, a way of crafting outdoor environments that nurture, inspire, and endure. Looking ahead, the rustic farmhouse backyard of the future is not only about style, but also about how people want to live, connect, and recharge. By 2026 and beyond, trends show a growing desire for outdoor spaces that act as an extension of wellness, creativity, and community. The rustic farmhouse design adapts beautifully to this vision because at its core it already celebrates simplicity, natural balance, and human connection. What changes is the way people are choosing to personalize and expand these values, turning backyards into holistic environments where every element serves both beauty and purpose. One of the most defining shifts is the emphasis on multifunctionality. No longer is the backyard just a place to sit or plant. It becomes a hub for work, play, and mindfulness. Families are designing outdoor offices tucked beneath pergolas, complete with rustic wooden desks and Wi-Fi extenders discreetly hidden in planters. Creative individuals are setting up open-air studios where natural light and fresh air fuel painting, writing, or crafting. At the same time, wellness spaces are flourishing. Yoga decks made from reclaimed wood, meditation circles lined with smooth stones, or even small outdoor spas crafted with cedar panels and natural hot tubs are all finding their place in the farmhouse garden. The rustic charm ensures these areas remain grounded, avoiding the cold sterility that can sometimes accompany modern wellness design. Community is another evolving aspect. People are building backyards that welcome not just their families but also friends and neighbors. Outdoor dining zones are being scaled up, fire pits are designed with more seating, and open lawns are left intentionally clear for gatherings, seasonal celebrations, and even community markets. A rustic farmhouse backyard becomes a stage for storytelling, music nights, or simply the shared pleasure of cooking a meal together outdoors. This shift reflects a desire for belonging, for the old world spirit of hospitality that farmhouse living has always embraced. The design materials themselves are also evolving. Sustainability remains the cornerstone, but innovation is shaping how it appears. Reclaimed wood continues to reign, but new eco-friendly composites designed to mimic weathered textures are entering the scene, offering durability while maintaining rustic charm. Stonework is becoming more creative, with mosaics, patterned walkways, and stacked stone walls adding layers of artistry to traditional paths and borders. Metals, once left to rust naturally, are now paired with protective finishes that preserve their beauty without losing authenticity. The goal is longevity, ensuring that each piece of the backyard grows gracefully alongside the lives lived within it. Plants remain the soul of the farmhouse garden, but they too are taking on new roles. Beyond their beauty, they are chosen for function: native species that sustain pollinators, edible landscaping that provides food, and drought-tolerant varieties that conserve resources. Vertical gardens are being used more frequently, not only for small backyards, but also as design statements in larger ones. Trellises, wall-mounted planters, and hanging gardens create lush layers that maximize greenery without demanding endless space. The result is a backyard that feels abundant, alive, and ever-changing with the seasons. Decor is shifting toward pieces that spark conversation and memory. In many spaces, heirlooms are displayed outdoors, where their stories can be shared around the fire or during a family meal. A weathered rocking chair from a grandparent's porch, a set of enamel pictures passed down through generations, or even salvaged doors turned into decorative screens. All of these add narrative depth. The farmhouse backyard thrives on imperfection and history, and in the future, this becomes even more valued as people seek authenticity in a world that often feels mass-produced and fleeting. Technology continues to weave its way in, though always subtly. Outdoor sound systems are hidden in stone features, blending music seamlessly into the environment. Weather-resistant projectors turn barn-style walls into screens for open-air movie nights. Energy-efficient heating lamps extend the usability of patios into colder months, and solar panels integrated into rustic roofs ensure that energy use is as mindful as the design itself. The key is discretion. Technology supports the lifestyle but never overshadows the natural beauty or rustic character of the space. Another powerful theme shaping the future is resilience. Climate-conscious design is becoming essential. Homeowners are thinking about shade structures that reduce heat, permeable pathways that absorb rain, and planting choices that protect against erosion. The rustic farmhouse aesthetic, with its roots in practicality and working with the land, is perfectly positioned to adapt. A rain garden filled with native grasses or a simple composting corner tucked behind a shed reflects not just a design choice, but a way of living responsibly with the environment. As all these elements come together, what emerges is a backyard that is deeply personal. No two farmhouse designs are ever the same, because each reflects the people who shape it. Some lean more toward the garden, overflowing with plants and harvests. Others emphasize gathering, with large tables and open spaces. Others still focus on quiet reflection, with hammocks, meditation nooks, and hidden paths. Yet in every version, the rustic farmhouse spirit remains, a celebration of warmth, character, imperfection, and connection. Ultimately, the rustic farmhouse backyard of 2026 and beyond is not just about design. It's about creating a rhythm of life. It's about stepping outside and finding yourself in a space that feels both restorative and inspiring, practical yet poetic. It's about honoring the past through reclaimed materials, living fully in the present through meaningful gatherings, and preparing for the future through sustainable choices. The charm of farmhouse living lies in its timelessness, and when carried into the backyard, it offers something enduring, a sanctuary where style and soul meet, where life slows down, and where the simple joys of home are written into the landscape itself.